Okay, let's dive into something so scandalous, people either straight up ignore it or pretend it's not real. Like, what if Meghan Markle never gave birth to her children? No joke. This isn't your run-of-the-mill internet whisper. Her own father literally came forward and made some jaw-dropping claims. According to him, Meghan had frozen her eggs years ago, and her brother, he dropped a bomb of his own, claiming she had wrecked me shortly after. And here's the kicker. This all allegedly went down while she was still married to her first husband, Trevor Ingleson, way before Prince Harry was even in the picture. Just that flips the entire fantasy royal fairy tale right on its head. Suddenly, the whole charming narrative starts to unravel, and honey, the more you dig, the messier it gets. And no, it's not just about her freezing eggs. Oh no. The real tea is that Meghan supposedly couldn't even afford to keep those eggs preserved long term. Storage alone reportedly runs between $8,000, 0 cents, and $9,000, 0 cents a month. Can you imagine?
And she's changed. She's not the daughter I knew. My daughter was a much more giving, loving person than she is now.
And back then, let's be real, Meghan wasn't exactly rolling in cash. Insiders say she was earning around $7,000, 0 cents per episode on Suits, and even then, she barely showed up, like blink and you'll miss it screen time. Out of 108 episodes, her actual footage totals up to just 138 minutes. That's not a lead actress, that's a glorified extra. So picture this, she runs out of money, loses access to the frozen eggs, has a hysterectomy, and years later, suddenly poof, she's got 2 kids. People aren't dumb. Eyebrows are sky high and speculation is off the charts. But this isn't just wild rumor chasing. Folks have been dissecting Meghan's motherhood narrative like they're in a crime docuseries. Think about it. Where are the sweet mom moments? The hugs, the kisses, the relatable messy mom chaos? Nowhere to be found. Instead, every time the kids are seen, it's like they're extras in a photo op. Completely stiff, awkward, like props. And don't even get us started on the Disneyland incident. People swear the girl we saw one day wasn't the same one spotted the next. Different dress, sure, but also different child? Yeah, people are seriously wondering if Meghan's been using stand-in children. And that infamous moon bump clip, chills. Meghan strolling around with what many are convinced was a fake pregnancy belly during the pandemic in a hospital of all places when everything was under lockdown? Like, how? Back then, hospitals were fortresses, strictly controlled, especially maternity wards. So for her to just show up, camera crew in tow, and shoot what looked like staged maternity content, that's not just shady. That could be illegal. Then, there's how she talks about her kids. Ever notice how distant she sounds? Flat, robotic. There's no warmth, no spark. It's like she's acting out a script instead of actually feeling anything. People clock that from day one. They're not hating, they're observing. And something doesn't add up. And don't forget, this came from her dad, not a gossip blog. Her own father went on record saying she had her eggs removed and frozen, period. Her brother followed up, dropping the hysterectomy detail. That's not some slip of the tongue. That's a full-on detonation. And what's worse, the media is treating it like it never happened. Complete radio silence. Glossed over, buried, forgotten. So here's the question on everyone's mind. If Meghan truly couldn't have children, where did Archie and Lilibet come from? Why is everyone, the palace, the press, even the fans, dancing around this gigantic elephant in the room? What's wild is how Meghan and Harry keep pushing this picture-perfect parent image, but dodge any real transparency. Every time someone mentions the kids, it gets weird. Either the response is over-rehearsed or so vague it's suspicious. No raw birth photos, no hospital shots, no behind-the-scenes glimpses, just highly curated images that scream brand building, not baby bliss. And you want more receipts? Let's talk about that belly again. There's actual video where Meghan squats and the so-called baby bump literally folds in on itself like a pillow. It didn't shift like a Halloween pop. People slowed it down, frame by frame, zoomed in, and yeah, it didn't scream pregnancy. It screamed foam padding and camera trickery. Look, if she used a surrogate and wanted to keep it private, that's one thing. But if there was an active cover-up, a deliberate deception, that's an entirely different game. That's not privacy. That's manipulation. Then we have the birth certificates. Y'all, something fishy definitely went down. Meghan had her royal title removed from one of the documents, and then it was put back in. That's not how these things work. And in the US, royal titles aren't even recognized legally, but somehow Archie and Lilibet's papers made it through with HRH labels on them? Even U.S. immigration officials reportedly got confused and reached out to King Charles for clarification. Can you imagine? That doesn't happen over paperwork errors. That happens when something smells rotten. And let's not forget Harry's role in all of this. He's not some clueless husband. He's an active participant, smiling, posing, pushing for HRH titles even after the Queen herself said nope. The Queen was clear, no titles for those stepping back. But Harry insisted. And King Charles, he folded. That man was supposed to clean up the royal mess, but instead he handed out royal titles like they were PR freebies. The question is, why? Why would Meghan orchestrate something this elaborate in the first place? For clout? For legacy? One theory hits hard. She believed that having royal children would cement her influence forever. Not her name, not her bloodline, but her power. Kids born into the monarchy with titles, that's a lifelong PR goldmine. It's no longer about whether she actually gave birth, it's about whether the world believes she did. And if the illusion holds, then the empire is hers. But the illusion is cracking, and is cracking fast. So where were we? Oh, right. The cracks in Meghan's picture-perfect motherhood fantasy. And they're getting harder and harder to ignore. Let's start with that now infamous clip where Meghan's holding one of the kids. And let's be real, she looked like she'd never held a toddler in her life. Her arms were stiff, her posture was off, there was zero eye contact, and not even the slightest bit of that natural mom instinct. It was uncomfortable, like really uncomfortable. And people noticed, a lot of people. It's not just about body language anymore, it's the vibe. Every time we see those kids, there's always a handler nearby. Always someone hovering in the background like they're babysitting a borrowed prop. And honestly, that's what it's starting to feel like. A performance, a set, a script, a storyline that someone badly wants us to believe. But the truth? Oh, it's creeping through the seams. And fans are done playing dumb. Now, the real jaw-dropper in all of this is the silence from the palace. Like, hello? Why isn't anyone stepping up to clear the air? If these kids are really Meghan and Harry's biological children, why hasn't a single royal official said it out loud with confidence? Why no confirmation from the hospitals? Why no proud doctors or nurses saying, yes, I was there when Archie was born? You'd think with all the media buzz they love stirring, they'd at least have one blurry hospital corridor shot of Meghan actually giving birth, but nope, nothing. Not even a shadowy silhouette. And then comes the clip that blew up the conspiracy tenfold. The one where Meghan's bump did that thing. You know the one that made everyone's jaw hit the floor, when she squatted and her belly folded like a cushion. People replayed that video millions of times, frame by frame. It didn't just look off. It was straight out of a bad costume department. At that point, the whispers turned into full-blown roars. Was it all fake? Was the bump a prop? Was the baby even real? And if it was all a cover-up for surrogacy or adoption, why lie? Why go through all the staged maternity content? Why not just be honest? Because here's the deal. It's not about being anti-surrogacy. It's about transparency. It's about authenticity. When you're literally trying to be America's version of royalty, you can't build your brand on fiction and expect people to worship it like truth. But it gets worse. Let's talk birth certificates again, because this detail is messy. Meghan's royal title, one day it's there, the next it's mysteriously gone, and then boom, it's back again. And on official documents, too. In the US, that's not something you can play around with. You don't just slap Duchess of Sussex on a legal paper like it's a nickname. But that's exactly what happened. Insiders even claim immigration officials had to reach out to King Charles for clarification. Yeah, you heard that right. US officials calling the King of England to ask, are these titles even legit? How many red flags do we need? Meanwhile, Harry is acting like none of this matters. He's smiling, playing the doting dad, and pushing hard to make those HRH titles stick, even though the late Queen had very clear boundaries. But nope, Harry came barging through with demands. And guess what? Charles, the king who was supposed to fix this circus, gave in. He just handed out royal recognition to 2 children with no confirmed birth details, no hospital photos, no verified timelines, and possibly no biological link to Meghan at all. Let that sink in. And now, people are starting to ask the forbidden question. Why would Meghan go through all this elaborate effort in the first place? A coincidence? Or a distraction strategy? Like stir up some new drama, dominate the headlines, and bury the ERAO questions? Classic PR 101. But here's the problem. The distraction didn't work. People saw through it. And instead of killing the rumors, it only fueled the fire. And now the focus is shifting back to Harry. Because this isn't just Meghan's storyline anymore. Harry is deep in this too. He's not some innocent guy caught in a whirlwind. He's actively helping build this fantasy. He's pushing the narratives, managing the media, curating the image. Let's not forget, this is the same man who once claimed he hated the media. He despised the paparazzi, but now he's calling them up when it suits him, then turning around and filing lawsuits when it doesn't. It's the hypocrisy for me. And the royal family? Silent. Not a single word. No clarification, no correction, no line in the sand. Just a quiet, awkward tolerance. And honestly, that's not neutrality, that's complicity. Especially when the monarchy's credibility is on the line. Meanwhile, Meghan's over here still posting polished family pics, using the same suspicious kid faces, the same Instagram filters, the same stiff poses, all while Harry's giving speeches about protecting his family. Like he's living in a Hallmark movie. It's insulting, truly. Because it's not about Meghan and Harry anymore, it's about the institution they're playing with and the public trust they've hijacked. Now look, maybe we'll never get hard proof. Maybe no clinic will leak records. Maybe no hospital worker will come forward. But truth? Oh, it has a way of bubbling up. And every time Meghan and Harry try to act normal while their entire narrative feels suspicious AF, the illusion thins. People are connecting the dots. They're comparing photos, noticing that one kid's ears look different 1 week to the next. They're spotting subtle changes in eye color, size, even behavior. And at some point, even the most loyal fans are going to stop defending it. Because illusions don't last forever. And when that illusion shatters, when the press stops protecting them, when the palace can't keep pretending, when even the fans say, okay, something's off here, the fallout is going to be legendary. We're talking historic, earthquake level, because this isn't just another celebrity bending the truth. This might be one of the biggest royal image cons in history. And the worst part, everyone from the palace to the press to the fans may have helped it happen.